Hello. I wanted to share kind of an activity idea with you that is something maybe you can try at home with your student to work on handwriting in a way that's a little bit maybe unconventional or something that um, we don't typically think about, um, especially because it's something you can really do more at home than we can do at school, and that is with using recipes. Right now, we're stuck at home and um, maybe you're trying to cook a little bit more at home, just because it's hard to get out and into the community to go to different restaurants, things like that. So I found this website. It is called Nomster Chef. If you can see it highlighted there, Nomster chef.com. And it has a lot of great visual recipes. So if you look here, kind of middle of my screen, picture book recipes for kids. If we click on that, it's going to take us to the recipe library. It's going to show us some of the different options. I kind of explored this website a little bit when I first found it, and it has a lot of really great options. If you have a picky eater at your house, sometimes getting in the kitchen and having them help you cook is a great way to kind of introduce them to new foods, at least new experiences. One of my things with picky eating is that we don't want to force necessarily a new food or new foods on kiddos. We want to let them have the opportunity to kind of explore foods. And even if that just means that they're going to touch a new food, they're going to smell a new food, just interacting with a new food is just a whole new experience. So as you can see here, they've broken them down into their recipe categories into breakfast, snack, dinner, dessert. You can search if you'd like. You can look at different dietary needs. So if you're egg free, if you're nut free, those kind of things. Or you can just look at all the recipes together. So and if we scroll down, here's more of the recipes. So you can see things here like a PB&J burrito. That's another idea. If your student has a favorite food, just finding a way to change it just a little bit so it's the same flavors and basically the same ingredients, but you're just changing maybe the presentation or you're changing one element of it. That can also kind of open up new opportunities for new foods for those picky eaters. We've got teriyaki chicken and broccoli, waffles, kale chips, blueberry cinnamon overnight oats. So, and then like I said, it keeps going. So they don't have a whole lot on here, but at least this will kind of give you a general idea of maybe something that you can try at home. So I'm just going to go ahead. Actually, I think I'm going to go with this PB&J burrito. So you can see there it lists the time, the servings, all the specific information about it. So when we click forward to the actual recipe, we're going to give it a second to load here. We scroll down and here it is. Here's your recipe overview that shows you all of, kind of like I said, the general information, your grocery list, if you need to make substitutions, the tools that you need, some extra tips for the grown-ups. And then I like how they also have these videos that kind of go with the recipe. So how it's made, peanut butter, how it's made, an accompanying kind of similar recipe. So if you really like the PB&J burrito, maybe you can try the PB&J sushi. Excuse me. And then they have pictures of some families who have done this at home. So we're going to go back up here. We're just going to click ready to cook recipe here. And again, I'm just trying to show you in general, what it kind of looks like. So if you see here, you can kind of click through and it's going to give you each step, like step by step by step direction. So the plan, oops, sorry, I should not have clicked that. There we go. Tells you to wash your hands first, collecting the ingredients. One of the best things I like about this is the pictures that it includes. Okay, so you're not just getting the words, but you're getting the pictures, so it helps kind of modify it for our kids that maybe have a little bit of trouble reading. You can help them with the reading, but then they also have these great pictures that help them out step by step along the way. So again, it just walks you, it even has this little educational, these little educational pieces. Here, it's showing you how to use a knife correctly. Of course, you want to do this supervised with our little ones. If you want to use a plastic knife, just so that they're getting the exposure, because they're going to be cutting a banana, then that's great. But they can still practice that knife skill of how to hold the knife correctly. How bananas relate to exercise. So again, it's got all this information kind of included. So if we go back to the overview, so far it's like, oh, well, we've made a recipe, we've put it all together. How does this relate to handwriting? What you could do before you start the recipe is, again, kind of teaching your child how to use a recipe. How do we look one up? What's the important information that we need? All the preparation that goes into making a recipe first. So what I would maybe do is, it says print grocery list, but I would have your student write out their grocery list on a piece of paper. And then what you could suggest is that after they write their grocery list, then you're going to go shopping in the pantry. You're going to go looking in the shelves of the kitchen or the cabinets of the kitchen, and you're going to shop for your ingredients from what you hopefully already have. Or maybe you will have to go to the store, and so you're going to use that. They're going to help you write your grocery list so that you can go to the store and you can buy the actual ingredients. So like I said, same thing with writing the tools. So kind of making their game plan. If you wanted to take it one step further, you could go back to the recipe and you could have them copy out the steps of the recipe, and then start your own like recipe home cookbook, where you put all of the recipes that they've copied into one place. Like I have a binder full of recipes that I have gotten from all different places. So tying in with that, with the handwriting piece, if you are using typical, wide ruled paper at home, that's great if you just have a notebook. If you have access to a printer and you feel like your student needs a little bit extra support with the handwriting, this website, printablepaper.net, if you have access to a printer, and then the category is penmanship. I believe when you go to the main page, like if this is the heading at the top, the categories down here at the side, you'll see penmanship paper. And this has a lot of great options for that handwriting paper that you can print and use at home. Or if you don't have access to a printer, you can always just use it as a model, and you could create your own using a ruler and maybe a marker. Some of my favorite kinds are these that have the dotted line across the middle of each row. I like how these rows have lots of space in between for those letters that go under the line. And I also really like, I've got to find it because there's a lot of paper, a lot of different kinds of paper on here. The highlighter paper that has a different color for the bottom part of each line, to again help our students with knowing where our different letter sizes go. So our small letters go in that highlighted portion, our tall letters go from top to bottom. They have colored lines if you have access to a color printer. And then they have like the shorthand paper if you wanted to try that. And then they also have various calendars, things like that that you can practice with. But this is a great option if you have access to a printer and you want to practice that handwriting. So again, finding ways to incorporate our handwriting into kind of everyday activities that are a little bit more fun, a little bit more exciting than just sitting and having to copy down sentences or write about a story or things like that. I hope this helps give you some different ideas of some things that you can try, some different resources. But if you have any questions, feel free to reach out.